What do we expect now, actually, from Ball? Because I'm looking at this draft. You've arguably just like these two cores aren't looking great for you now. You need something that can deal with the Knicks and never be threatened by it, right?
Yeah, so let's see what Gork's been up to this past week. Don't know how I feel about Lifestealer versus Slark, but he's been playing quite a bit of Lifestealer, I think. Or maybe this is just his all-time cumulative heroes. Let's see this week.
Or
All right.
you could pivot your
Still a lot
picks
of
into
Lifestealer.
more counters for Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, I don't know about this. It seems like they have a strategy in mind, but I can't really decipher it. They have a great deal of magic damage, that's for sure. A fair amount of burst as well, which Slark does not like having to deal with. Slark prefers long, drawn-out fights where he can do hit and run, go away, regen, come back. And in that regard, Bald are pretty good at keeping an eye on Slark. Even if he goes into Shadow Dance, Leshrac has a great deal of ground-targeted damage, so you're not going to feel very, very safe as a Slark, even when you do go into Shadow Dance. But this is a lot of hate just for one hero.
Yeah, it's quite surprising. Like I feel like they've left themselves vulnerable with the Knicks, and you could maybe even see the dire side now look to pick up something like a Mars. I mean, they've got elusive heroes on the side of board, right? And like Batrider can fly out. But when you think offlanes that are left in the pool and combos that work really well with the Willow, I definitely feel like Mars is screaming out here to be picked.
Yeah, it's just that Mars is typically... So I want someone who's very tanky who can also initiate.
Oh.
Which Legion Commander kind of fulfills that. The reason that I would have been skeptical about Mars is that he's primarily tanky in regards to like right-click damage, and there is basically none of that on Bald right now. And so what is traditionally a survivability would be irrelevant for the most part, just because there's so much magic damage that would ignore Bulwark for the most part. Which Legion Commander also kind of struggles because Moment of Courage needs right clicks to proc off of and stuff like that. But at the same time, I think with Press the Attack and just her inherent strength gain, she's a little bit more confident about being able to initiate. And then obviously she's a great hero to get rid of Batrider's lasso, which is, I imagine, the number one reason why they went for her.
Yeah, and then of course it's just a natural blade mill builder, right? And you're up against Leshrac and Ember Spirit. These are heroes that can be punished pretty easily by what I'd say is top 2 blade mail builders in the game.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty fair. And then a great hero to catch Ember Spirit as well. If they can manage to, like, they have so much like sequential crowd control for this Ember Spirit. If you manage to get the Slark leash, then that's a great way to start. The duel, obviously. The carapace is most likely going to be the biggest issue for this Ember Spirit, just in terms of being able to move around the map, and then all of a sudden this domino effect of stun after stun after stun starts coming in. So I'm heavily favoring Aachen's draft right now. I don't know what Gork's hero could possibly be. I'm assuming Bold are still waiting on figuring out what their one position is going to be. But nothing that he plays really jumps out to me as being great, because I think Lifestealer is probably the best choice, but even then, I'm not confident.
I feel like you need something that just says, ha! Like, they got him, right? Like, you need something like a Broodmother, but that doesn't work against the Dice draft. Like, Aachen can handle that pretty well. Huskar, another hero that's handled fairly decently by the side of Aachen.
Yeah. So you're going to be leaning against a Legion Commander, and then, I mean, probably just a Legion Commander. Willow's going to be moving around the map a lot, and I don't know how much protection an Alchemist is going to really need against an Ember Spirit. For the most part, the Acid Spray is too difficult for an Ember to deal with. Like, it's great that his Flame Guard doesn't get burned off, but at the same time, you lose so much armor that you can't really pick a fight against Alchemist under the Acid Spray.
It's true. The Flame Guard, you got to look at that as it's not just the DPS, it's damage absorption, right? So it's
exactly,
it's effective HP in trading that you lose out on. I feel like right now the issue they have is they don't necessarily, they could get the means to gank the out, but it's not like you've got a powerhouse ganker, something like an Earth Spirit, for example, that can easily punish what can be seen as a greedy pick by the side of Aachen.
Let's see. I guess. No, I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, that's not what I was gonna guess in a million years.
I mean, so it doesn't address the issue still, right? Like, is it just Bald saying we need a really great team fight and that's it, or we're done?
So who's okay? So Stormstormer mid, Gork
offlane Ember. Enigma.
Okay, fine.
I expected Batrider to be support at this point. Like, it's too counted out, right? But
yeah, so I mean, so their evasive maneuver is they didn't want to have to play musical lanes. They're just gonna dedicate their last pick to dealing with the Slark, because the Batrider was going to fulfill it. And I'm pretty sure they were gearing towards Leshrac being the mid even before they saw the Alchemist. I don't think the Alchemist suddenly made it like, oh, now we need to send Ember somewhere else and send Lesh somewhere else. I think they wanted to pick an offlane. Like you said, it doesn't answer any of the questions, which is, for one thing, your team is very heavily countered out by Nyx. Sure, you're going to bully a Slark, but now you have to worry about an Alchemist who's going to scale very, very well. And this Legion Commander also does a great deal in terms of initiating and in terms of late game carry potential. So I'm pretty solidly in Aachen's camp for this draft.
No, I have to agree with you. I'm looking at this, and it's just, the Nyx count is basically 3 heroes in your lineup. The Enigma, it's not like where we usually see an Enigma drafted, right? Where it's either in the 4 role and it's a bit greedy support that will farm a lot, or you play it alongside another big ultimate, like a Tidehunter, for example, where it's like, okay, if we use one of these, we have a backup. So if you initiate on us hard in response to it, we'll punish you. The problem with this draft is you commit Black Hole. If Black Hole doesn't work out, it just feels like their lineup completely faults.
Yeah, the only thing I can give them in the favor of the Black Hole is that at the minimum, they're not very cooldown dependent. Enigma is the only cooldown dependent hero on Bald's draft. Everyone else can pretty much fight 24/7. So if they're allowed to give this Enigma like a pretty high farm priority and then work around Enigma's timings, I have no idea what he'll go for in this situation. I would feel like a Blink Dagger would be fairly valuable, but you can also just play it safe, go for a Midas maybe. But if they're going to last pick an Enigma in this kind of situation, then you have to play around the Enigma, and we'll see if Bald are capable of doing that.
Yeah, they'll have to as well, because it feels like for most of the games that I've seen from them today, when Bambo pops off, their team pops off, right? Like, he seems to be the go-to anchor for the team up to this point. Enigma, definitely a hero that can get a lot of gold to work with, but it's always that kind of, can you get those kills? And to that extent, yes, you do have good supports for that, but it feels like they have to actually get some good early kills.
Yeah, either that or they just have to, if they're able to confidently shut the Alchemist out of the game, which is nearly impossible in 99% of games, if Alchemist gets any later than like a 17-minute radiance, then I say Bald is looking pretty good. But anything beyond that, it's going to be difficult. Although Pexu is taking a great deal of abuse.
Yeah, the sticky napalm is adding up. Nyx is going to chase it, but he's getting low himself, and he won't be able to get the kill in time by the looks of it. Pexu turns around, joins in the fight, says, okay, I'm going down, but first blood will be drawn by my team. Gork taking a lot of damage in conjunction from this, as EGM thought he was helping with the tosses. Doesn't look that way.
Yeah, it just kind of brings everyone a little bit closer, but I guess EGM's still doing some work. Pablo's taking a little bit of abuse, but this last Bramble Maze is going to keep him safe. So Trilane v Trilane, I suppose. I mean, the Batrider, he's screwed no matter where he goes. If he goes in Slark's lane, he has to deal with Dark Pact. He goes in Legion's lane, at least he can bully her early on, which she took overwhelming odds at level 1. I guess, it depends on how you think the rune fights are going to go. But she doesn't have press the attack, so until she gets press the attack, Batrider's definitely capable of harassing her.
Right now, they have to commit to this Trilane scenario. You know that Enigma's going to be okay on his own. Slark's going to need some backup. You mentioned, even if you shut down this Alk, he's not out of the game. And I think the other big concern is if you focus too much on the Alk, Slark just slides through the hardest point in the game for him.
True. For sure. It's just that I am more concerned about an Alchemist getting out of control than I am a Slark getting out of control. Because like we said, they have a fair amount of lockdown on their own side, assuming that it doesn't get interrupted by the Nyx Assassin or the Legion Commander, which is a tall order. But they have so much burst damage that if they do find a Slark out, even if he's fairly farmed, I feel like they can take him out just with the ground targeted damage that they have.
That's true. And the Alchemist is definitely a more immediate threat. The rate at which this hero can get out of control compared to a Slark, even with a Midas, is not really comparative.
Yeah, and I don't think you have the heroes that are equipped to deal with a Slark. I mean, to deal with an Alchemist mid to late game, because you don't really have any natural Spirit Vessel builders. I guess Enigma could go for one. Symmetrical is getting rotated on.
Yeah, nice rotation from EGM. He's tanking a lot of damage from the tower, though. Symmetrical is making sure he can't get close enough to the toss. And instead, he's going to turn around. EGM, he's going to die. This split off misses because he stood to fight with Stormer. And Stormer, that was way too close for comfort because he almost died as well.
Yeah, he had to play on the edge of the acid spray, but also not standing in the tower AoE. He was taking so much damage, and all of the, at least like, the Diabolic Edict was pretty much spread out throughout the creeps the entire time. It was only level 1 whenever they went for the kill, and it was, yeah, that was a rough turn of events, but...
Nix, he's here. Can you get the body blocks long enough? Ooh. Okay, I'll move past. Leshrac, I mean, it's a pretty fast hero, but one punch might have been enough to kill him off from Symmetrical.
He just needs to enjoy this period of time before Carapace comes online, because Nyx is still only level 1, but once Carapace comes, then so many heroes on Bald have to be scared. Enigma has to worry about Midnight Pulse or Black Hole. He can literally just Carapace and walk into the Black Hole. The random Pulse Novas or Edict explosions from Stormstormer, walking into an Avalanche, and then obviously the Firefly and Flame Guard from the other 2 Bald heroes.
It's really concerning just thinking back to that draft, because you mentioned the Nyx, and this whole draft is like, every time it's like, okay, that doesn't address the Nyx, it just makes it better. Yeah. It's like, are they trying to give Pexu the best game of his life because he has the potential to pop off like it?
I mean, Slark is about to have the best game of his life too. Bambo is taking so much abuse in this offlane. He's doing a good job body blocking with these Eidolons, but he needs to be very, very careful about giving this Slark too many essence shifts.
Sure.
And now they have to rotate, or rather, Bambo has to TP out.
Yeah, of course, this is a hero that can just fall back to the jungle, but the problem with doing that is the moment you do, you're submitting that this Slark gets a free lane, which you can't afford to do.
On the flip side, Aachen don't really have the best pushers. Really, at any stage of the game, Alchemist is going to be your strongest pusher. And for the most part, he's not going to, you know, if you leave the lane for a little bit, you're not all of a sudden going to lose 2 tiers of towers. So Enigma feels a little bit more safe about relegating himself to the jungle if it comes down to it. But like you said, he really does not want to have to leave the Slark alone, because it's also keeping the Willow busy. The second Enigma leaves, not only does Slark get a free lane, but then Willow's like, sweet, I'll go bother the Ember Spirit now.
There is another side to this, is that they could end up with a stage in the game where Enigma goes to jungle, but you could then put Batrider in the lane, right? This is a hero that does really well that split push potential. Of course, you have to be careful getting caught out by this Slark, but it could potentially create this 4-core lineup for the side of Bald.
Yeah, I am curious how they're going to play Ixon's Batrider. I really have only seen success of support Batrider on like OG, whenever like No-Tail plays it. Other than that, especially when you're this heavily countered, it seems that no matter how much farm you get, you're still going to be pretty useless. And now we get a lot of action at these shrines.
Pounce in, getting pretty low. The toss to buy a little bit of time. The Avalanche as well. They'll proc the shrine quick enough, but Bambo needs to retreat. He has got the Midnight Pulse. Hasn't thrown it down, though, to deter them. Instead, he's going to get his Eidolons ready. And now Rajix needs to retreat because Stormstormer coming in. The Curse Crown's there. Nice double stun out from Pexu. Beautifully done. But they toss him forward. He's stunned up is the problem. Stormstormer's still going to chase Rajix down. He'll pounce away, be able to make his escape. And on the other side, Pexu, he might get away for this. No Malphas for 10 seconds. It's pretty speedy, but there's the toss forward.
Oh, the toss.
GM, always there. Tiny support. Proven pretty useful so far today with these level 1 tosses.
Yeah, it takes a great deal of effort from Stormstormer, though. Expends his entire mana pool, even after getting a little bit of that shrine regen, and has to go all the way back to base. Although, like I said, if these heroes on Radiant leave, it's not like all of a sudden you're going to lose a tower. So really all Symmetrical benefited was he was taking some stacks in the jungle. Now he's getting rotated on.
Symmetrical be able to back up, though. He did get the Chemical Rage off in time. Stormstormer is chasing this. Now the Impale turnaround. Mistakes made here. Leshrac just goes down so quickly, and Ixon, he's trying to snipe the core input. You're a measly Batrider. 45 damage won't do it. Become the mid laner now.
Yeah, you're a measly Batrider, which means that even if you did manage to get to the mid tier 1 in time while Leshrac was still alive, what are you going to do against a Chemical Raged Alchemist? I'm very surprised that Stormstormer went for that. Because you don't damage down an Alchemist that fast with a support Batrider backing you up.
Well, the only thing I can think is that he's overthinking how much of a threat Alchemist is. Like, you think about the amount of time he took to chase those kills near his shrine, right? As you said, Symmetrical's just farming, but it's an out that is just farming, right? That catches up on you quick. EGM,
That's true.
Got by stun. Midnight Pulse comes to try and protect him with a double stun. Beautifully done. Pexu on point. Rajix, though, he's going to go down.
Ooh.
You gotta respect the Midnight Pulse, even with just 1 point in it.
Yeah, and good Eidolon micro as well from Bambo. He kept him on the high ground, so they didn't have to walk all the way down the stairs, and was able to pepper it down on Rajix. More points, please. I'm poor. Was this man not getting tipped enough? This is just the reverse psychology.
Right, you know, he's eating it up. He gets a kill here and there. He's just got to respect the fact that, well, Dark Pact is an amazing spell. You are essentially killing yourself with it.
Yeah, but don't worry. He's about to hit level 6, and hopefully that will no longer be an issue. He entered that fight with like half HP. And if I saw some sweet Pexu stuns like that, I'd also go in, and now
wow,
he will go down in the mid lane.
Yep. I was watching top because it looked like Batrider was in trouble as he could easily have been pounced on. Now, Chase is on. Looking towards Stormstormer. They do have level 6. They want to turn around, but the stun comes out. Stormstormer, he's going to bait them in. Jonas trying to run away quick enough with the press the attack, but it won't be good enough. He's going to go down. First round comes down to EGM, but there's no one there to follow up. So says, get the hell out of my lane. I'm trying to hit creeps.
You hate this as an alchemist. Why is there so much action going on in my lane? Everyone go away.
It's kind of
I
like...
really want to start invading this tier 1 tower, because like once you take this tier 1 tower, then it becomes way easier to start invading the jungle, and that's critical against an alchemist. You want to make sure that you see what's going on in his jungle as soon as possible. So I can understand why Bald are playing this aggressively.
Well, they're gonna aggress on him again. The problem is they don't know that Pablo's here. They see Pexu, they do not see the Willow. So if they make one aggressive move, they would be punished. Instead, Pablo will back away, realizing they have no intentions anymore. This should be a reasonably decent timing for the Radiants at this rate. He's got 3 points now in the Griever's Greed, so this just starts to ramp up more and more.
Yeah, and Willow can't stick around for too long. I mean, the Bambo is absolutely capable of soloing a Slark at this point. He has Black Hole, 4 points in Eidolons. I would be kind of nervous of leaving your Slark alone for too long, but Pablo's just kind of roaming around. He wants to keep the mid lane warm. He wants to keep people distracted. And actually, they're going to smoke up. Symmetrical wants to go ganking. Or never mind, he just pops the smoke immediately. Instead, they're going to try to kill Jerry.
He'll throw out the Avalanche. Jerry's good to move away. They're spending a lot of time just trying to rotate and make sure the Strat can't get these early tasks.
Yeah, it's just that I don't know why Slark rotated. Like, I understand why they're being so defensive as now another tossback that Symmetrical will be able to walk away.
No need for chemical.
They have the same idea that Bald do, which is as soon as we lose our tier 1 tower, all of a sudden a whole bunch of Alchemist farm gets very, very dangerous. And that's why there are 9 heroes mid right now.
Yeah, even Gork's come across now. The real winner here is the Midas picker up as Enigma finally gets his hands on it. The tier 1 does go down in the mid. They have left Jonas bot the farm, but honestly, if you look at this game, you're going, does the Legion just free farming? He's got level 6. Should he be killing people right now?
Yeah, it's a difficult scenario. Ultimately, Legion ganking at 6 is just to create pressure. If the rest of her team is fulfilling that pressure, then let her farm up the Blade Mill. She'll be a more formidable force whenever she starts trying to go on these less tracks. Right now, she needs the setup of someone else, and Nyx isn't level 6 yet, Alchemist doesn't have Unstable Concoction yet, and Slark just wants to farm up his drum.
Yep, not going for the Midas in this type of game. Realizes there's a more imminent need to be aggressive, and you already have a greedy member on your team in the form of an Alchemist. EGM. Out by the stuns, Spike Carapace held him in place as well. They're going to get him low, and the Shadow Realm being charged up won't be enough to kill him outright. Stick, one more hit. He's going to ball up. Tiny is a tanky boy. No armor, but plenty of health to throw at his opponents.
Yeah, this is kind of the penalty for a Willow moving around so much early on. Only level 4. And she reads the tome, so now she's accelerating, but it would have been nice to have that, as the rest of your structures are getting pushed very, very quickly.
Storm has mean his timings, so we were worried about this draft a little bit, but they're getting away with these early tower takes. There's no real pressure being applied elsewhere. In fact, it's just kills being given over.
Honestly, he's not even so much meeting them, he's creating timings. It's now that duel.
That's an optimistic duel. Did they get it in time? No, just a little bit too late.
Not. Oof, that was like a tick too late.
A little bit ambitious. I mean, Nyx was quick with the Spike Carapace, but just it doesn't necessarily feel terrible, right, to not get that first duel, because I like to think of like level 1 duels as stun. It's just a stun, really. Anything else is nice. That is not nice, though. Rick Cheeks.
Yeah, that is why you can't leave a Slark alone against an Enigma. He will get Black Holed, and you can't do anything about that. No Dark Pact is going to save you from that. And I'm assuming EGM was just there for insurance, as his Tiny is progressing very, very well.
True.
And they're just going to keep mowing down towers. They have so much control right now of this dire jungle that you see all of these dire heroes have to move up there. And the Alchemist, look at him. And he has his relic. So I gave a 17-minute window. He's going to do much better than that, which this is a pretty typical timing for an Alchemist. So they have not shut down the Alchemist, nor did I think they should. but they've done a good job of making sure that Slark's not a huge issue. And most importantly, they've taken a bunch of structures before Aachen is able to have any real counter push. They've taken every single tier 1 tower and done a fair amount of tier 2 damage at the bot lane. So far things are looking good for Bald, but the clock is ticking.
So far, time is definitely on point. You know, you want to get rid of this tier 1 towers because you realize how greedy the Alchemist pick is. And if you can get in that jungle, maybe you can punish. EGM, he's the one being punished here, though. Jonas says, yes, a dual win, finally. And even with an arcane rune as well, so he's ready to go again in 30 seconds.
Nice.
He might head towards
I imagine he's going to sit tight until he finishes the blade mail, but yeah.
But the important time has been reached. The radiance is online for the 13-minute mark. You feel confident about this. This is where symmetrical actually start to show up to these fights.
Yeah, for sure. And this is also when Legion Commander can also feel a little bit more confident leading with a duel, because she knows that she'll have pretty confident follow-up, as Unstable Concoction has also been skilled up as he has approached level 10, and Radiant are not letting up. They are bullying every single jungle that they can find, and they will probably take this tier 2 tower down bot.
It looked like they should have had that kill, but Ixon came out of the trees too early, so Slark backed away from the splitter. But as I said,
yeah, the dude's only got boots and a windlace. It's very difficult to play a Batrider in this situation. There's the...
It's not difficult to die, though. Hey, look at that. Jonas got duel again. That's the last two, but they're not going to kill him quick enough. Oh, he's getting away.
Okay.
The Firefly's running out soon. Look at this Shadow Realm on Willow. He wants the kill.
Legion doesn't even care anymore.
I mean, they are literally wasting so much time.
Or free Agi, rather. No. Wait, so he TP'd... Oh, okay, he was only in mid. It's not that big of a deal. Well, he kept the supports busy, I guess.
Yeah, they're really close. I mean, they wanted to wait it out. Jonas wanted that duel so badly. It's not the... Like I said, it's not the biggest deal there. If you can just get quickly to the level 2 duel, that's when it really starts to kick up. And he does have the XP talent now.
And I respect the lasso, even though it is a defensive lasso, which is not something you see every day. It was the right play.
It's kind of the same logic. It's like, I don't want this silencer to get in. If I could find a way to... Like if I hook shot away from silencer and then die to, you know, his other teammate, I'm fine with that.
Of course.
Unless he gets me with the curse, in which case I'm very upset.
Yeah. You use a spell and you're like, I got away, and you're like, oh no, I refreshed the debuff. Rune fight's gonna break out. Pexu's already in position with this vendetta.
They know, though. They've scanned it. EGM. Look at the confidence of this man. He won't be confident for long. Breaks that. Oh, Yule's coming out. They didn't hit the stun even if Yule's going to be there, though. Jerry trying to buy enough time, but EGM will fall. That's another dual win. 20 damage now on Jonas. Oh. Got forced the Remnant back. Meanwhile, Ixon does get found, but Rajik's... You're just a measly Slark. You don't really do this on your own, buddy. Has got the hand of this, though.
It's only 2 bounty runes going for the Alchemist team. No one even contested the one near the Radiant top shrine, so instead everyone is congregated this bot lane as Aachen now want to finally start pushing their first tower.
Well, it's late, but you expect it. It's not like they've got a Lustrak or an Enigma on their side that can easily do this work.
Indeed. Although they are hitting great timings of their own. Jonas Pim has completed his Blade Mail, so... While Bald may feel confident going for this defense, I feel like Aachen can take the fight if they want.
Talk. Oh no! They could get the stun out in time. The last hit comes down to Jonas. And a half HP Blade Mail to deter them from attacking him. Press the attack to heal him up. Symmetrical just running in like a madman. He was looking for the blink stun on the Gork, but Gork had already gotten really, shall we say, tempted to try and murder Legion there.
It was tempting.
Even with the Blade Mail, you're like, I think I can take this. He doesn't look so tough. Of course, Rajik's taking advantage here. He doesn't actually have his Midas now. It's late, but he definitely needed it in this game. Like, he's so far behind. Mid. Like, characters coming out. They can't get on Ixon, though. It's too awkward.
The thing is that for Bald, like, I don't know who's making space for who. Like, who is supposed to be carrying you to the late game in this situation? Is it the Ember? Because right now he's working his way to his first item, but, I mean, a Maelstrom's not going to necessarily take you that late. The Tiny has the potential to progress into a core position, but it's going to be a long time before that happens. The Enigma has his Blink Dagger completed. Are you going to wait for his BKB? Because that's going to be another 3 minutes or so. And no one is really like, okay, you guys just give me 30 minutes and I will carry you to the game. They're kind of just scrambling for whatever they can find, which is they've gotten a great deal of map control. They've taken 3 outer towers, but you still don't have a great hero who's going to carry you over to the finish line right now.
Yeah, it feels like they don't know their priorities. And it's not like when we look at Secret and Go, we know that you guys are sacrificing certain gains because this hero is going to be important at this point in the game.
Right.
Like, I'm looking at each of their builds. Look at Ikeson. He's going for Boost of Travel on a support Bat Rider. It's like, okay. So no one's going for Blink Dagger right now, other than your Enigma, which is the longest cooldown for the control you could possibly have. They're trying to control up Jonas right now. BGM's going to be turned around on. Mistakes may have been made here. The home for the duel, and it comes out right now. Stunned up, so he's not returning the damage. That's going to be close. The final club comes out. And Jonas, it's a level 2 duel. 38 damage now stacked up on him.
Very nice. Alchemist didn't even have to waste any time doing that. He's working his way to his Manta style. And they're still pressuring the mid lane. It's right now, Bald, taking the outer towers is easy. It's taking these tier 2 towers and making sure you don't lose a whole bunch in the process is the tricky part. And ideally, you would like to do it as a 5-man team. But if you do it as a 5-man team, then at this point, Aachen have enough counter push that they can stall you out. That even if you do have an Edict and a bunch of Eidolons, you're not going to be able to take these structures quickly enough while Alchemist is farming like literally every other part of the map.
It's true. You're in this situation in this game where, because you took all these early towers, kills on you are super valuable. But unless you can find the Alchemist, you're not getting any sort of similar gains when you kill your opponents.
Yeah, exactly.
And once you start dying, like, we're approaching the 20-minute mark. We're getting to that point where people could start to be dead for 30, 40 seconds. And when you've got your tier 1 standing, that's a lot of gold you could give over to your opponents.
For sure. And sometimes the disadvantage of having so little map control is like, oh man, now we Roche is a big concern. Bald don't have the best team at taking Roche. They have a pretty garbage team at taking Roche, in fact. So all these, the goal of the objectives was to gain control of the Dire Jungle. You take all these towers so you can gain control of the Dire Jungle. But now Alchemist is large enough that he can farm lanes or your Radiant Jungle with no fear. And so they're grouping up in the top lane, and they may be able to take this tier 2 tower, which is going to be uncontested, as it looks like the rest of Aachen are smoked out, but they're not going to find anything. Instead, they're just going to try to push a tier 1 tower of their own.
Opens the map for them.
Yeah, and works out well for Bald for sure.
Yeah, they're just playing a game with dodge because they realize the Bald they put themselves on the clock in a really awkward way right now. It just feels like their lineup. Usually when we see something like this track, there's an immediate ramp up afterwards, right? It's, the whole idea of these early push lineups is that they continue to just expedite the issue.
Now Rajix is here to defend, although he may be in over his head.
Bounce out. Did have to use the Shadow Dance though, but they will back away here. Smoked up. It could be a fake back. Rajix, he's not coming out far enough.
I mean, half tier 3 damage, I'm saying you're pretty pleased with that, as well as distracting everyone to get these top 2 bounty runes. So no combat over these bounty runes, despite there being an Alchemist on the Dire side. And Bald come out very, very well ahead in these last 2 minutes. Now Bloodstone's completed. The question is, can they manage to take this last tier 2 tower? Because I'm pretty sure Aachen are going to put up a fight for this one, as now Manta Style is also completed for Symmetrical.
Not just that. Blink Dagger is now available on Jonas. So they should definitely look to fight around this. They force the Glyph bot. They just want to see if anyone on the side of board is feeling tempted to be the hero of the buildings. The hero this tier 1 tower needs.
I think the common mantra is you never defend your tier 1 tower safe lane. That's what many better Dota players than I have told me, is that people who defend their tier 1 safe lanes are bad at Dota.
This is true.
That's what,
unless you think you can
Blitz
take
told me. That's what your boy
fight.
Insania would have told you had he been casting. So let me share a little bit of that Insania wisdom.
I mean, he didn't bother to show up the cast. I doubt he'd show up to a tier 1 push, right? So,
Exactly.
probably differing reasons there. But they'll let the tier 2 in the mid go. They didn't actually try and fight that at all.
I'm not thrilled with that decision. I'm pretty sure they could have taken the fight. Right now, Nyx Assassin's all dressed up and nowhere to go. He's been vendettaing around max carapace and all that setup, and no one wants to follow up on it.
It's incredibly frustrating for this type of hero as well, right? You have a GPM talent, but because no one's fighting, you're not getting that 10 anytime soon. He's still only at level 9. A decent way to go.
Yeah. There's a lot on the shoulders of Symmetrical, because if they're not going to defend a single outer tower, then they're banking on this Alchemist being able to carry them to late game, which in these qualifier games, in these tier 2 games, it's usually the safe bet to assume that I will win late game. They're going to make mistakes, because you're like, each minute goes by, it's another minute that Bald could throw. And so you just kind of keep waiting, and you could just win fair and square. but you can also rely on mistakes. And it seems like right now, with their very tenuous 2k net worth advantage, they're just hoping that they're going to botch a tier 3 push on Bald.
Oh, they're going to go in. Duel's going to come out. They find Ixon. Avalanche try and protect him, but maybe too late. At least they can stop the duel. And no! The final hit comes out. The final tick. Bambo being chased onto. The Curse Crown's there. The Bedlam as well. BKB looking to turn around. The Black Hole connects on the 2. Hold them in place. The stun charge up symmetrical. They have to back away from him for a moment. He'll throw it out just in time. Try and gets activated. He's moving out the Midnight Pulse. He's going to turn around. He's going to go down. Now they'll be able to turn around and look on the Gorg next. He needs to get out of here, but not much mana to work with. This poor man's son. Stop, Stormer! What is this man doing? Yule's up in the air and everyone around him dying. It looks like the true victor here is the Disco Ponies. Jonas cannot escape. Rajix will make his way out, but the Black Hole ends up being worthwhile in the end.
Stormer coming in at the 11th hour. That fight was looking terrible because your Leshrac wasn't there. Your highest net worth hero was MIA, but they stalled it out long enough. BKB activated on Bambo, makes sure that he does not get stunned out by Dark Willow. And man, that unstable concoction was so close to detonating on the Alchemist himself, in which case the fight would have gone disastrously for Aachen. But he manages to toss it out, get that Shrine regen, walk out of the Midnight Pulse, and stall out the fight for a little bit longer. But that just meant that that Leshrac could come in and clean it up and racks up to 17 Bloodstone charges now. So great first BKB usage from Bambo, and still asserting dominance in this dire jungle right now.
Yeah, you gotta feel amazing about that. Just getting that many charges after just picking it up. And you know, it's the greed of Aachen there, right? They see we flip a fight, and you just see an Ember, right? Your logic is he has no way to get away with Remnants now. We just stack on him and kill him instantly, right? We don't give him a chance to elude us. But don't worry, Stormer's there. People think about him from his Invoker. But after that stun, they might start considering him his Leshrac.
Whew. It's all that tornado practice. That's how you land splitter. It's easily.
Although they want to punish him now. But the problem is, Pexi has the same issue he had before. He's a lonely man in these gank attempts.
Yeah.
Reinforcements
coming. Congregating.
Oh no!
Oh, but he turns off the Pulse Nova.
Impale, they'll be able to get in range for the duel. No, it's just far enough away, but the duel is there still. With the DD activated, it'll be an easy cleanup and a kill. And perfectly done considering he did get those Bloodstone charges recently. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Rajix going in, looking at Ixon. Forces out another lasso. This man has to do this so regularly. He'll be able to TP away this time, though.
Have we seen, like... How many lassos have we seen? Aggressive, yeah.
Okay, so the aggressive part is his aggressive TP to try and escape.
Yes.
It's very anxious. It's very.
He was staring in Slark's face when he was TPing. That's a dominance play.
All right.
But the non-dominance play is losing all 4 of your bounty runes. That is not a dominant play, especially against a team with an alchemist.
Yeah, it's an interesting attempt though. I mean, I'm not sure it's very easy to stare fish in the eyes. They don't.
Yeah, it's on the sides of their heads. There's a term for that, where whenever you have the eyes on the sides of your heads, like sharks or whatever.
So what you're saying is the reason sharks dominate everyone is because you can't look them in both eyes.
They can't even see them, like John Cena.
He
was in the top lane.
He tried, and now he'll die. Find a little bit of time, but there's the duel, and all of a sudden we look away for just a few minutes. That's 92 damage now on this Legion Commander.
Yeah, and this is 92 damage on a Legion Commander with basically not that much farm. She is 9k net worth right now, and I would wager that 92 dual damage is worth probably like a solid 5k net worth, I'd say. So Jonas and Fem is doing very well for himself, finally being able to follow up on this Nyx Assassin, and now we're seeing why this Nyx was such a problem as we saw from the draft. It's just, you never feel safe as Bald. Because sometimes in these situations, you're like, okay, if I'm an Ember Spirit, I'm going to go start split pushing like crazy. I need to, draw the enemy team around the map, and then whenever someone TPs, then I join the rest of my team, and then we have a man advantage because someone else had to defend a tower. But whenever you have to deal with the Nyx Assassin, and I mean, you see how many Radiant sentries are peppering the map, it's still not enough. You're never feeling entirely safe, and so, Stormer has to be more conservative about how he uses his spells, the Ember does. Although now they're going to go into Roche, and does not look like Dire in position to contest this yet.
No, they heard about that Ember that you mentioned. They want to try and poke and prod at him, but he's hiding under tower. I'm not sure if they're doing this quick enough right now. I mean, they have a ward down. They might lose Ember at this rate, though.
I think that's worth it. Yeah, Gork absolutely did his job there.
This is like
everyone away.
This is a 101 education on what happens when you go for a tier 2 tower spot at the wrong time.
Yeah, especially because it was all 5 heroes. Some like at the minimum, maybe you have Alchemist, sending out Manta illusions, or you have a useless Dark Willow or something who doesn't really matter if she dies. Which actually, this is fairly farm Dark Willow. She has a Yules, which is going to be very irritating for like this Leshrac or this Ember Spirit to deal with. But yeah, it's usually you have at least one other hero creating space on the map, or at least finding information on the map. But yeah, they go all in on the bot tier 2 push, and they lose Roche. A just goes the way of Stormer, and was that the second one or the first one?
That's the first one.
Okay, yeah, so just
let's be honest. Look at both their lineups. No one was likely to do
right.
the
True. My bad. I was thinking that it was.
You've watched too many CIS games.
Exactly, that's what it was.
Mid. Teksu. Well, that's an easy stuff. He wants it. Just walk in with Spike Carapace, but not even needed. They'll just duel straight away, and Ixon's dead. They did use the Spike Carapace as well. A little bit overkill.
Yeah, that is a lot of hate.
It's extra damage, It's just a farming tool. Some people farm gold from creeps. He doesn't care about the gold. That's a bonus on the side. He's farming damage.
Well, I see Stormer.
Yeah, but that's not a kill.
Available. Yeah, that's not a kill.
I mean, it would be a kill. It's just, it wouldn't be the Leshrac dying. It would be the Nyx.
True. Although BKB is now completed for the Alchemist. So while it usually was second in line was the Legion Commander after following up on the Nyx Assassin, I think Symmetrical is going to be a lot more eager about jumping into the fight early on.
And all the while, Rajix, he's done a decent job to recover here. It looks measly when you compare it to an Alk, but that's an Alk. He's actually matching the cores on the other side and outdoing Ember by a decent amount. Oh, Terrorize. Guess it's wrong.
I respect it.
You gotta give it a shot. I miss an Ember kill. It's totally worth it, even if it is like a 30% chance of hitting.
Dude, Gork is crushing it. This is exactly what I said he needed to do. He needed to split push. And usually it's really hard because you have to deal with an Nyx Assassin. But you see all these dire heroes are slowly trying to migrate whenever they see the Ember Spirit, but he just gets out by the skin of his teeth every time. He just dodged that Terrorize this time and dodged the tier 2 fight last time. The Bald Boy is doing a great job.
Jonas?
And now they might change the... Oof.
I mean, this is the problem. Your Batrider doesn't have a Blink Dagger. He's nowhere near it, in fact. He even went for a Medallion, which definitely slowed him down exponentially from ever getting to that stage where he can initiate. Same with Jerry. He's so obsessed with getting his hands on the Spirit Vessel. You don't really have many forms of initiation. You now got the double black hole, at least on Bambo.
No, they may just take a tier 3 for free.
It's very hard to just inject into this lineup.
Who needs initiation, I guess?
It just feels like if you can't find the Enigma and kill him, you actually can't fight them with this second life on the track.
Yeah, but I feel like it would be fairly easy because, so, Enigma has Black Hole BKB, sure. But you have a lot of heroes that can kind of, like, not everyone needs to congregate on the Enigma. You can toss out an Unstable Concoction. Nyx Assassin can serve as a decoy with Carapace just to force out a BKB. Slark can die. Like, I don't really care if Slark dies as long as Alchemist stays alive because Alchemist is the primary damage dealer. What? And plus Slark has a BKB anyway, so...
Why are you trying to turn a fish into an old undead king?
I've watched too many Wraith King games.
It's like, please, Rajix, roleplay the Wraith King.
Fall on your sword. Fall on your curvy dagger.
He's actually going to try and force them back here, put some pressure on the tier 3 tower. But they're hanging up here, they're going in. The Yule's going to come with a Nyx. Yeah, it's got the Spike Carapace, and the stun will return onto Leshrac instead. Mana burned up, stunned as well. Curse Crown's going to be there. He's got a BKB, but no mana to work with. He needs to regen up. Jump forward, Symmetrical, throws the stun out, looking on Jerry. Then Terrorize through. It's going to connect on the one. Black Hole over, they turned around. Free connected. Beautifully done, and he even has the refresher afterwards if need be. Symmetrical needs to throw out the stun, doesn't hold on to the whole time. The duel's going to be there, and then he's going to go down. No second Black Hole. Storm getting low. He'll give her the first life, Jonas. Chasing deep, needs to actually move away. Symmetrical getting low himself, needs to heal up. Heal up quicker than this, in fact. The Chemical Rage is still active, but not for long. The Slight Fist gets the kill, and Gork with the double kill in the end. The buybacks come out. Slark and the Alchemist back into the fight. This should just be a back away by the side of Bald.
Losing that tier 3 tower, and then...
Ixon, you right there, buddy? How's it going? Oh, stun, connects those two, but the Dark Pack's there. Now Storm with the BKB going in, but he doesn't have a second life. He needs to be careful. The Shadow Dance from Rajix doing a lot of work, but he has to back away. The buyback comes out from Batrider. That's not what scared them off, though, because he's got no way of getting back to the fight.
So them being able to take that tier 3 tower for free while Slark was busy farming out bot meant that they could immediately take the top shrine. And that made it impossible for Aachen to initiate because you can't get to the backlines anymore. The only person capable of it is the Nyx Assassin, but you know there are going to be sentries galore that you can't just walk in vendetta. So they just had to go face first. Symmetrical jumped in as soon as they saw that the Leshrac was, pretty low mana burn. Then Alchemist was like, all right, screw it. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to try to initiate on this Tiny. And really close BKB timing on Bambo. He almost got hit by Dark Willow's Terrorize, but he activated it, got a 3-man black hole, and that's what happens if you can't attack the backlines. Bambo has all the options, all the time in the world to decide when to initiate.
Beautifully done, beautifully patient. He even has the second black holes. He did actually hit the refresher, but he didn't waste the second black hole. That's the good news. And they're going back to what they were doing.
He took the cooldown reduction talent, so it's not even that expensive, all things considered.
And just goes to the preview of how important the first rush was in this game. They definitely wouldn't be able to afford a second rush now going the way to Bald. Not the situation that they find themselves in here on the side of Aachen. Jonas could go for initiation. He's the prime target. Terrorize, just try and scare them away, but they're not falling for this. Willow's shenanigans don't work that easily, I'm afraid.
If Bald get their way, ideally they want to complete the game before the second rush even becomes an option. So they're just trying to box Aachen in, make sure that they can't ever leave their base, because an Alchemist with a Manta Style should not feel this paralyzed. You should not see an Alchemist with Manta Style sitting behind tier 4s at 33 minutes into the game, but Bald have done a great job at just bullying the entirety of that team on their half of the map.
Well, this smoke wraparound is interesting, but it's looking on the wrong side. They need to get on top of Enigma. You can see the massive wraparound by Pexu there. He knows where he is. He just needs a way to get on top of him now is the problem. He has the Vendetta.
I see him.
How about hit? He's the stun. Actually forced out the BKB, but they're going to charge it. No, they actually can't get the duel off in time. The black hole's going to be there. Terrorize trying to get rid of the reinforcement. Storm with the BKB, and now the duel's going to be there. Trying to get the kill. We'll find it. Buyback comes out from Nyx. Jonas trying to move away. Needs to actually stay out of the midnight pulse. Nice stun. Jump in. ECM going to go down. Gorks, BKB running. Will allow him to get the kill on Jonas and Van, but now Storm needs to back away. Shadow Dance activate. Nice stun. Turns around when Cheeks goes down. He's going to get melted straight through. The buyback's going to be there from Legion and the Willow. Didn't get a chance to use the Terrorize before. Actually did. In fact, he's got the Bedlam, but now they'll turn around. They'll find the kill on the Gork. Mistakes made by him hanging around too long. And Ixon, there's no escape, buddy. Just accept your fate. Symmetrical, he needs some more gold. He's a greedy boy.
Oh, he may get out.
Ixon? Is he going to do this? He's getting far enough away. Despite Carapace, it's going to be there to slow him down. Symmetrical, though. He throws out the stun. He sees him and will burn him to death. A lot of buybacks come, and then they hold in the end.
I'm gonna need that fight recap. Okay, let's see what we got here. 3 buybacks on the side of Aachen.
It's not done. They're killing an illusion. They got it.
So 3 buybacks and an illusion. Jesus Christ. Lost on Aachen. Alchemist does not have to buy back though, and that's the most... Oh, Alchemist bought back earlier though.
Yes. The previous defense, it required
it. Yeah, him and Slark had both bought back, that's right. So the other 3 heroes who did not have to buy back in the previous defense did so with the Nyx, the Willow, and the Legion.
And it felt like Aachen made that harder for themselves, right? Because he came out of Vendetta with a right click. He didn't just stun. So Enigma had a chance to respond, and we saw what happened as a result.
Indeed. Yeah, he was able to get that BKB black hole. Legion Commander was like, oh god, you didn't land the stun. I'll come in and I'll duel him, it's fine. But just that split window in between the duel coming off and the BKB being activated meant that Bambo could get another solid black hole. And this is... it's very difficult to say, actually, who's winning this game. The net worth lead is basically tied, which is bad for an Alchemist team. But at the same time, I do favor Aachen going late. So if they are able to maintain Raxes, even if it's kind of a Pyrrhic victory with you having to burn a lot of buybacks, you're still keeping yourself in the game. And Radiant BKBs are going to get lower, although Leshrac is 25. Jesus Christ, Stormstormer's 25.
Yes, he's definitely been in the midst of everything. I mean, his net worth spike was ridiculous as well, up to 24k. This man has been finding anything and everything so far this game.
Yeah, 22 Bloodstone charges to boot as well, and now a second Roach will go uncontested.
They didn't learn the lesson the last time.
They did not.
I mean, they're scanning it
out.
It's too late, though.
Hexu's taking the long way around. He wants to know where Bambo is, but it's too late.
Give it up. Aegis and Cheese this time around. They struggled to deal with the Aegis alone, but now the Cheese being there as well.
And you can't play chicken with a 25 Leshrac anymore. Like, you saw how quickly they took the tier 3 tower up top uncontested. That was a pre-level 25 Stormstormer Leshrac. Now, if you leave your structures alone, you will lose them in like half a second.
I mean, there's also an issue of what does your Slark do? You saw how quickly he died in the Shadow Dance in that last engagement. And I think
Exactly. This was the danger of first facing a Slark, is that you have to deal with a great deal of ground targeted damage.
well, they're here. So Stormstormer, Diabolic Edict coming off cooldown 3 seconds. They don't even really need it to take this Rax though. They're not going to stop there is the problem. Slark is just trying to get the waves alongside the Alchemist illusions that they can't push in, but with top already being there, you're going to lose your base. Yeah, you can't do what you're doing right now. And I'm surprised they're even backing away for a moment. Bald, they might realize they can just hang around.
It's because Edict was on cooldown. Don't worry. They're going to come right back.
Let the little Eidolon boys do the rest of the work, and then Stormstormer comes back in as party time. I mean, Lirak's going to fall. Slark is still doing this. No one is dealing with top. What? All right. Well, they're all in. If they don't find Enigma here, they lose this game. Bambo, walk through the tree line right now.
Bambo factor.
Curse Crown on Stormstormer. Jump in, stance out on Pexi. Now, jump in. There's the duel coming out. No black hole available. Bambo can't get it out in time. He's going to go down. No, last two to try and keep him alive, but he's still dead. Rajik finds the right target. The buyback comes in, but Enigma has a long way to run. Ike's is trying to retreat. Chase through on the side. Stormstormer wants to get in the middle of the fight so he can just output the deeps on everyone involved. Rajik's BKB's going to run out soon. He still can't find the kill to Ike's, and the Shadow Dance used, and now he needs to retreat with no pounds for 2 seconds. They're moving across with the Remnant. Gork looking to hunt this down. BKB comes out. Symmetrical Force to activate it, but the black hole doesn't connect on anyone, just the Legion. Not good enough. They'll maybe find that kill or refresher, but they were trying to get their hands on the Slark. Instead, Rajik's will escape alive. Keep the two most important heroes up, at least.
He has a second black hole available, so if
true.
Stormstormer is able to find an opening, they can just jump on it and hopefully end the game. And taking Legion Commander out is actually surprisingly valuable. That girl has a 188 bonus damage. You saw how quickly Bambo was getting chunked down before that lasso was able to slowly stall the gap, but he still went down. And it's still level 25 Leshrac with still an Aegis and 24 Bloodstone charges.
Well, at least he's helping you out. He's stunning up his teammates for you. You got 15 seconds till out, potentially as a buyback, but he's still 300 gold short. He actually needs to hit some creeps. Any creeps. How about these ones right up here at your tier 4? No? Alright, buddy.
They're getting boxed out of bounty runs at the minimum. Whew, this is such a delicate game. Like, Bald are playing extremely well. For them to not, and this isn't just me like having low expectations of a streamer stack. This is very difficult to play this game and not throw it. Because if your Leshrac dies twice in this situation, because he does have an Aegis, but if he dies twice, then like all of a sudden the game goes from winnable to nearly impossible.
It's all come to who's striking before Roche, right? Like each time they've struck before Roche, and now they're gonna strike now. BKB chasing in. Hicks, he's just gonna melt down. Pex, you have mercy on the black hole, comes down to Slark. He used the Shadow Dance, but it won't keep him alive. And on the side, Terrorize being charged up, not used. Slark will buy back. Gork's BKB run out soon. Terrorize does connect on the Leshrac. Stormstormer has to run away. Doesn't have a choice in it now. The last is going to be there. Controls and Symmetrical is going to stun himself right up. Rajik's with the BKB running out, so he needs to be careful because Stormstormer could turn on him. Thinks he gets popped on the Gork, but he's got enough damage to bring Symmetrical down to half HP. Charging up the stun. Gork needs a retreat plan, but he hasn't got it right now. The stun goes out to Stormstormer. Down to half HP. Has the second life to work with. Pablo has no more lives to work with. He's going to go down and out for 80 seconds. Their way back into this.
Respawning.
But Stormstormer's still alive. They haven't killed him once through this entire engagement. Chemical Rage off cooldown of 5. Stun going to be thrown out. Ooh, tossed away by the Slark. Rajik needs to pounce out just to stay alive. Leshrac, they're going to pop Lincolns, pop one life. They're going to try and heal up with Symmetrical. They need to actually be careful though. Gork is still willing to fight here with the Flame Guard active. He can take enough, and now out, forced to buy back straight away. The Midnight Pulse is down, the Duel is out, but Legion, he's not doing enough here. Leshrac down to half HP. They might better finish him off now, but the toss. EGM trying to save the day. Stunned up though. Leshrac will still go down. The stun thrown Enigma as well. No black hole, no life. BKB to try and move away. Gork trying to save the day though. Jumps straight in and realizes he's not as strong as he thought he was. There's so many stacks up on Rajik's and there's so much damage on Jonas. He gets overwhelmed. Bambo as well. They do at least get Mega Creeps though.
They do at least get Mega Creeps. That was a nail biter. Legion Command, like, so I give a lot of props actually to Batrider. Ixon did such a good job. So as soon as the Legion Commander respawned, then Ixon was like, as soon as I see this LC, I don't care. I'm just going to walk straight into her. Because LC doesn't want to have to duel with Batrider at 41 minutes into the game. Well, a support Batrider 41 minutes into the game. And so Ixon was just distracting her. So Stormstormer was able to get basically the majority of his first life out pretty constructively. Then it became a challenge to get him out for his second life, and maybe Bald overpredicted how easily and how cleanly they will be able to get out, because that is a dieback for the Enigma, and he's dead for a whole minute. Stormstormer ideally does not want to have to buy back, but he may have to.
Well, they know that he doesn't have buyback, and this might be a scenario where you just try and end game, because you're up against Megas. You just get the tier 3 and try and go. Like, Symmetrical's not here, but he has got the boost to travel. And he's TPing back to push up top.
So hard. 188.
They're going.
They're just going for it.
Symmetrical needs to be here. He made a mistake.
Oh, an AoE press the attack.
Oh, no. He could get the toss in time. They're going for it. They've got the opportunity. Buyback comes out from Ember. It's all in for them right now. Press the attack coming off cooldown in 2 seconds. 1 tier 4 down. Still 30 seconds out. They need to stop this right now. They can't wait for the Enigma. The BKB's going to be there. The last team to control up Legion Commander, but they are dealing with the Alchemist. Gork goes in, finds the kill to Nyx. Buyback's going to come up from Nyx himself. He can't really get across quick enough, but they're hitting the throne. Jonas get low, but it looks like Symmetrical's done this. Aachen, against all the odds, they might be able to know. The BKB's ran out. Symmetrical, he's getting low. They need to fight up Rajix with the Shadow Dance. He's trying to end it. He's going to be there. They might be able to hold Rajix. It's all on him. The Avalanche post off and no, this time, but it's not good enough. They get the game, and it looked so damn good for Bull, but against all the odds, they actually pull it back because of one mistake by Bambo.
You ever lose a guaranteed game in 45 seconds? That's...
How do you... Look at the win probability right now. Did you see that divot right there? That's Bambo going, guys.
Divot. What a great way to phrase it, a divot.
You know what that is? That is the sharp spike that the side of Bull just impaled themselves on right there. Good God.
Jesus. I don't blame them. Like I said, this was an extremely difficult game. For them to have gotten to 40 minutes and not lose was in itself impressive. It's that last minute, though, that, God, man, they're going to be kicking themselves over so much. It's the last game of the day, though, so it's not like they have to go into the next game super tilted. And, you know, I've watched a few Gork streams. He can recover from situations like this. I've seen him lose worse games, just not necessarily with higher stakes than the International, but goddamn, what a turnaround by Aachen.
I mean, credit where credit is due. The way they played that was perfect. It looked a bit dicey at times. You know, there was a real big concern. We were concerned when they were just ignoring the pushes that were coming from board, right? That extensive wraparound, the way they took these fights. It's impressive that they fought so well when you consider their lineup has to stand in Midnight Pulse 9 times out of 10 when they fight, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it looks grim from that stage, but I'm just looking at scores now. That's the 5th game that Aachen have played. They've got 4 wins. They're basically through, I think. Like, it's very much, I think, almost impossible now for them to not make it through to the group stage. Now, Bulls...
And then where's Bald at?
They're looking rough here. I gotta tell you. So they've got 4 games played on 1 win. They're worse, though.
That's a rough one.
Anti-Mage down there. Sinstack has been roughed up as well. And 682, they're looking the grimmest of all wares as they have 4 games played and not a single win yet. So
things are spicing up. Everyone was saying that Europe was just going to be phoned in for chaos, but that does not seem to be the case, as Aachen is making a very, very bold claim at being able to move forward. Although, as we have seen from the other regions, day 1 and day 2 performance does not necessarily indicate where you will fall in the playoffs, but it's a great way to put yourself on the map. And I did not have Aachen on my map initially, but I mean, all these players. So Pexu, despite having a great hero for the situation, but not a great team to play with them, I suppose, if that makes sense. He didn't have the best follow-up to play Nyx Assassin at his peak, but he was getting a lot of 2-hero impales in the laning phase, and that was great. He did choke at being able to stun Enigma near the end of the game, but it ended up not mattering. Pablo did a great job. He was rotating all over the place, making life very, very difficult for Gork and Batrider with his terrorizes. Symmetrical did his job. They set him up for success. They said, we're going to lose literally every single tower. You better goddamn win us the game. And he did. 12, 5, and 10. Jonas and Fam racked up 188 dual damage. And Rajix, despite not having a very good laning phase, did not die as much as I was expecting. Rajix is probably the least superstar of this game, but he also did his job.
I think he got the final hit on the throne, so...
of course.
And that's plus
with
10
his
points.
7 Essence Shift steals.
Hey, that made the difference because we saw how close that was. The moment Alchemist BKB ran out, you could already imagine him just sitting there sweating. Oh boy, oh boy. But as a result of that, you know, UK Dota's looking strong, folks. As we said, 5 games played,
1k
4
GPM.
wins.
Who cares about Brexit? This man will single-handedly carry your economy.
I mean, we're going to need it at this rate. But you know what? It's looking grim for coaching. At least Chaos have made somewhat recovery. I believe they have... Are they currently playing? I think they've... Oh, they lost to Hippomaniacs. So Chaos have had a mixed day. They've played 5 games now with 2 wins. So they are on the precipice of going bye-bye at this rate. It's not looking good for them. But it's okay. Like, in that situation, we were assistant coaching. In this situation, we're playing Dota, baby. And Aachen are looking hot plowing through at the moment. Really, the favorites here are Singularity, Aachen, Final Tribe, and Hippomaniacs to make it through to the playoffs. But as Sue hit on, this is just day 1. Everything can change on day 2. You know, you come in at day 1 in these events, you just see surprises, right? People didn't expect X, Y, or Z. But by day 2, they've watched the replays. They've seen you play most recently. They can come through. They can surprise you. So, we'll call it a close here. You guys can head over and just continue to watch action with the NA stream, the main hub stream. That is me and Sue done here. I'm done. My coverage of TI is done. Tsunami's coverage is done as well. He done a remarkable amount here.
Yeah, I came in strong and I'm going out on top.
You got a good game, baby. You're going on top, you know? Final game of the day. They saved the best until last, and we saved Sue until last, the first day at least. But thanks for tuning, guys. It's been a pleasure to cast these TI qualifiers. I'm sure you'll see more of me and definitely more Tsunami in the future. But until then, shut up and go watch some Dota.